Welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. The first part of this video, well, let's talk about Shubunkins because, well, you know me, I love my Shubunkins, and that's why they call them Stubbunkins.
These are my very best Shubunkins, and they're in my top oval pond. It's about 4 feet deep. It's extremely well filtered, as you can tell by the water clarity. I'm able to feed these guys about 3 times a day. I'm really hoping to put on some growth, enhance their colors, and any excess food gets washed out into the koi pond, and I know they don't mind. I give them a real mix of pellet food, North Fin. A lot of it has some krill, and they even get occasionally flake food, which they still love. I do have fishing lines out and around just to make sure that Mr. Heron doesn't come for a visit. These guys will stay out till the end of September, early part of October, so they still have several months to grow. The other pond is a little bit more shallower, and the filtration isn't as good yet. I'm going to be adding a new filter system to it, hopefully this week, so I can increase their food from 2 times a day to 3 times. This is a predominantly female pond with some juvenile males. They are looking good. The coloring on them is really come along. I do hope to get some great growth out of them. And as you can see, they still love their flake food as well. It's really important to give them a real variety of feed, including I give them some Daphnia and some brine shrimp. And of course, there's always live food in there from mosquito larvae or any insect that falls into that pond as well. It's food. And they are beautiful to look at, especially walking over the bridge and looking down on these guys. I did mention before about feeding my fish high quality food, and this is my bread and butter young Shubunkins from last year. These have, well, virtually all been sold, but it'll dictate how much they grow and the color patterns that they get over the summer, how much I actually get for them. And these fish are developing nicely. Both my Shubunkin grow-out ponds are very well filtered with sponge and external filters, predominantly Popa soap. So I'm quite happy with these guys. They get a combination again of live food, flake, pellet, and of course Daphne and brine shrimp. That really enhances their color, and you can see with the water quality and clarity how they look. And when the sun hits them, you can truly see the colors that are coming out. And these aren't the ones that I'm going to keep for future brood. These will all be sold off, and they're looking really good. I'm quite happy. Like I said, I've got a few more months yet of growing, so I'm hoping that these will, in fact, almost double in size. And with being able to feed them at least 3 times a day, I should not have a problem with that, especially if you're feeding your fish high protein food. Now, this is my best Shubunkin grow out fish. There's only about 20 fish in this 300-gallon IBC tank. So I'm really able to concentrate the food to these guys. And out of the 20 some that are in here, I'm hoping that I can wean it down to about 5 that I will be keeping. The rest will be sold off. There's some really distinct quality color patterns in here, and the fish are growing nicely. This is extremely well filtered. You just saw the two Popa soap external filters, plus there's an internal Popa soap filters and a sponge filter. Along with some water changes, I should get excellent growth. It's really important for good growth to have a lot of turnover, and right now there's over 1,500 gallons per hour turned over in this 300-gallon pond. So that should really help. Plus some water changes, especially because it's been so hot. I want to get some fresh, cooler water in there just so it doesn't overheat. Now, this is the final grouping of fish that I will move on. This is over at my mom's pond where I put some of my best Shubunkins. These ones are 2 to 3 years old, and I'll keep 1 or 2 of them at best, and the rest will be sold off. These fish will stay out till mid-October before they're brought in. This pond is pretty well filtered. It's very heavily planted, so the water quality is surprisingly good, considering the excess feed my mom tends to toss out there. But, you can notice some really nice patterns on some of these now. Let's talk about this year's fry. I'm really happy with the growth. The temperature has really helped out with that. I think it's going to be a dark year though, as in there's going to be a lot of blues and a lot of dark fish. I have already started culling, removing the native-looking species out. For the most part, I don't really see too much white in there. Seeing a lot of blue, a lot of grays. So this could be a really interesting year. To spot these guys, the light just has to be about right. And this is one of the first year I've gone with green water, and I think that's the key. Is green water, because they're constantly feeding that way, and even a little bit of algae on the side. These guys get krill food, daphnia, some brine shrimp, and now they've graduated into some crushed up flake food and crushed up pellet. That's a North Fin that I give them. I currently use 2 110-gallon stock tanks outside. This is the second of my stock tank. There is a lot of fry in here, believe it or not. I just did a quick little scoop. You can see a few of the wild strain in here that I will have to call out. But overall, I'm happy with the ratio that I'm seeing in this pond. And that's really important because you don't want to waste a lot of food feeding fish that you're not going to be able to keep. I try to keep this in the shade or partially in the shade just for temperature control and so it doesn't get too mucky. You can see in the late afternoon how many fry are actually in here and the size of them. Again, with this extra warm summer we've had, we're getting great growth. I'm quite happy with that. Now, speaking of green water, this is my smallest of my fry ponds. In order to see them, you pretty much have to scoop, and I'm really happy with the growth. They get to feed constantly on this green water, and that's going to make a big improvement for the end of the season.
Well, let's stop monkeying around and talk about Wakin and how they made out. In fact, well, it was kind of a disaster.
Wakin goldfish, although are not very popular, are one of the oldest goldfish found. Basically, they're a Sarasa style goldfish with a split tail, and that got changed over to fantail, and then everything else that came after that. These guys went out extra early in the spring, and I wanted to mix them with 2 short-tailed Shubunkins, so I'd end up with some calico Wakin. At least that was the hope. The weather in the spring did not cooperate, but man, they bred. I got a ton of fry. I was over the moon. I was feeding them good. The reason they went inside is I wanted to hatch them out, and I saw that we had some cool water temperatures coming. I went away on vacation for about a week, and I was hoping to see some great growth. That didn't happen. I know they got fed regularly, but not being outside, they just didn't put on any size, and I lost a lot of fry. They just weren't growing, even though they were getting 100% krill, powdered food. They were getting some cyclops and some daphnia. They just weren't putting on the size. And I have yet to see one split tail goldfish here, or double tailed. Unbelievable. Out of all those, not one. Here's hoping there's a couple hiding in the back somewhere. But I think this was a bust for this year. Next year, they're going to be raised outside.
Let's look at the tropical side of things. First, we're going to talk about what went right and what went horribly wrong in so many ways.
Well, you want to raise tropical fish outside in the summer in Canada? Well, be prepared to put a lot of work into it and a lot of time bent over a barrel looking for fry, and of course, looking for predaceous insects. Is that a word, predaceous? Well, I have to tell you, I had luck in all of my barrels with fry and them breeding. Want to make sure they all got some cyclops, and I spread it around. Now, let's talk about the Florida Flagfish. I hope you got your microscopes out because their fry are so small, you'll miss them. Ready? See it? It just fits right in with algae, and wow, they are hard to spot. They're even hard to spot when they're bigger, but when they're at this size, yeah. And this is my first time breeding them, so this is all a learning curve to me. The parents supposedly care for them. Uh, I didn't see them actively chasing or trying to eat any of the fry. The parents spend most of the time hiding and mating. They do mate throughout the season, dropping a few eggs here and there. Now, see the fry there? That's actually about a quarter of an inch long. Now, one species I've had a ton of success with breeding outdoor is the Odessa barb. They're extremely easy to breed outside. The coloring on these is, well, next level. Like, look at those reds on the male. You're not going to get that inside. You get that only outside with live food, natural sunlight. And this is, again, you have to spend a lot of time bent over a barrel looking for fry. Did you see those swim by? Now, I use a lot of floating plants at the top for the parents to spawn in, and also a good spot for the fry to hide. I showed you before how I use the mesh netting, so if they want to escape the parents, they can also go below. Again, I've had great success using this method. Sure, you would get more bringing them indoors and then removing the spawning mobs, but growing them outside like this, and look at the number of fry in there, and we're just dealing with a 40-gallon barrel where the parents are still in with them.
So let's talk about my Aurelius Barbs. I think I showed you in the first episode that, well, when Jim and I saw the eggs, we got really excited. And I decided I'd move my Aurelius Barbs out for fear that they'd eat their eggs. So I moved them out, as you well know. And what I didn't say is I was petrified of the water conditions, so I removed a lot of the water, and I didn't want to put town water just back in there, and there'd be a definite swing in the temperature, uh, specifically because, well, the tap water was cold, and I didn't want to deal with any chlorinated water, so I figured I'd use water from this tank, being that all my shubbies were out of there. So I just siphoned some cycled water in. Everything would be fine. But oh no, Nothing works out for me, at least not with this. So as time progressed, I'm going, these fry are getting huge. These fry are getting colors. These fry are not barbs. These are Shubunkins. Yeah. So I ended up cleaning out the entire 55-gallon drum, and I think I removed about 15, maybe 17 Shubunkins. I only had to cull a few of them. A couple of them were actually quite nice. So I decided I'm going to siphon out the whole thing and see if there are any, if Aurelius Barbs in there, because that was my big goal. I've always wanted to breed them. They are a rare fish, and they're so hard to find. So I see one. It's dead, of course. It looks like something had eaten it. No doubt, a Shubunkin. Um, so I'm siphoning down and down and down, and then I find the tiniest fry. I see about 5 or 6 hanging out the side. I'm going, okay, these are definitely barbs. They've got the markings of a barb, but why are they so small? And how did they survive? So I emptied the entire thing, and well, I got 5 barbs. I think I counted 6, but I had to siphon everything out, and then I had to bucket it out from then on, and then go through each individual bucket to see if there's any tiny fry in there. So then I had the dilemma of, do I keep the fry inside or keep them here outside? And I'm going, with the temperature fluctuations and everything else, I'm not risking it. I'm going to raise them inside. And even though I failed miserably with the Wakin raising them inside, I learned from that lesson. So I've been adding green water that I have. Uh, that's going to do well. And obviously, I can keep an eye on them and make sure they get proper food. And at least I have 4 or 5 Aurelius Barbs.
With any luck, I'll be able to get these ones to grow out. And I've learned some valuable lessons, and I know that now that I can breed them, and I can keep my Aurelius population going, which is important to me. So they'll be going outside again next year. Now, what to do with this extra barrel? Well, I decided to move a bunch of Odessa fry into it, and well, I get that much more growth out of them because I still have another month and a half where these guys can be outside, and I can get more fry inside as well. But I'm really happy with the number I was able to scoop out in a couple minutes, and they're going to do well in here. They're going to grow like gangbusters in here, not hiding from anything and just eating. I love how they're schooling up though in this big barrel, and I'm just taking it easy with the filtration right now. It's on intermittent. There's lots of oxygen, lots of places to hide, and lots of food. It sure is nice to see them in a school. And I mentioned it's really hot right now. I put shade cloths out and around everything. Never time to take a break when you have a fish farm. Right, Marley? Marley? Yeah, right. I'm hot. I'm having a snooze. Typical Marley.
Did I mention how hot it is? Yeah, important to stay hydrated. And it's important to keep your fish cool as well. This bit of, well, it's an old beat up uh, pool cloth, and I'm going to use that as basically a shade cloth just to keep the sun down on these guys and keep the temperature down. If I need to, I can put a little bit of ice on these and it can drip in there. I know it sounds like a lot of work being a backyard fish farmer, but it's so worth it, especially when you're, replenishing your own stock, selling some. You don't always have to have a giant pond in your backyard to enjoy this hobby, especially in the summertime. Whether you want to do micro ponds or summer tubbing or water container gardening. It's all great. You can do it on your balcony, your backyard, a deck. You don't have to have a big backyard. In fact, I don't. I have a really small backyard. I just maximize it.
Yep, I know Chris has been complaining about the temperatures this summer. It's been quite hot, but we've had a ton of sunshine, blue skies, and I have to make a note. This is the clearest water I have seen in Chris's pond since I've known him. It's absolutely amazing. My ponds are the same way, both of them. Crystal clear water. I don't know. Is it the weather? Is it the temperature? Is it the sunlight? Sunlight would do an algae bloom. No algae blooms anywhere. Just beautiful, crystal clear water.
Well, make sure you follow along because in another, hopefully a month and a bit, these will be all ready to be brought in, as in all the fish. You should see a really big difference in the growth on them. And I'm excited to show you on that. If you want to see more of outside water gardening or summer tubbing, as some people call them, or if you want to see more of my Popa Soap videos from my Popa Soap fish farm, make sure you check out these videos. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, stay hydrated, stay cool.